Another one here. Shout out to the Soul Tribe. Shout out to the chosen ones. What's going on to my brothers and my sisters? I got a video here for y'all. This young lady right here, she's talking about how you might be more confident than you think you are. Now, she has 7 ways that you might be more confident than you think you are. And I have a couple more to add to the list. But no further ado, let's get right into this, y'all. Excited about it. Let's go.
More confident than you think. A lot of people see confidence as this: the loud, unapologetic, blaring personality that isn't afraid to be seen or heard. But what if you're an introvert? It's easy to overlook quiet confidence. Someone that keeps to themselves but holds themselves to a high standard. Someone who isn't the loudest voice in the room but speaks clearly and
Smash that like
confidently.
button.
Here's a few signs that you're way more confident than you think. Hey, if you're new, I'm Christina and I make videos for people who are feeling lonely. If you're a people pleaser, overachiever, over anything, you're in the right place. I have 7 signs that you're way more confident in this video, and I'm going to start off pretty surface level, stuff that's on the surface that might not be like super deep, and then I'm going to get more and more deep as the video goes on. One sign that you're way more confident than you think is the fact that you can take a compliment. Give this video a thumbs up if you've ever been given a compliment before, and then your immediate reaction is to be like, oh my god, no, this top is so cheap. Like, I literally got this on sale. Or I got this from a charity shop. Or you're immediately like, oh my, your top is so nice as well. Like, I love your outfit, it's so nice. It's very rare that people can genuinely take a compliment. But when people tell me like, oh, you must be so intelligent, you're a doctor, like that's so impressive, I'm like, oh no, it's not a big deal. Like, back in the day, I used to downplay things. I never used to be able to take a compliment. Whereas now I'm trying my best to actually, if someone says something nice about my achievement or what I'm wearing or like something that I did, how I handled things, I'm just like, thanks, and just leave it there. Like, sometimes I think when you like downplay your like achievements, or you like you like quickly throw the compliment back at them, it's just a sign that you're not that used to like positive affirmation and positive things and like positive compliments.
Hey, remember, this is her perspective, right? It ain't law. It ain't anything that you have to feel like if this isn't how you are, just her perspective. I'm just, putting out some, motivational type of content or whatever, because I don't completely agree with what she's saying right now. But it's her perspective. So let's keep it rolling.
Being said to you, like if your self-talk and the way that you speak to yourself is like self-deprecating or maybe like neutral, you give yourself like positive affirmation sometimes, but then you're also quite negative as well. If someone then gives you a compliment and they're like, oh, you look so nice today, like you look great, like it's going to be unnormal. How you handle a compliment is just
I don't think that what she's saying is a definite fact. I don't care what she's a doctor that she's claiming of, because some people just don't handle compliments well. I think that going down a rabbit hole of all this possible scenario that could be the reason why this person is acting this way when they don't handle compliments well is really just her projecting whatever she would be insecure about onto whoever else that she's talking to. Honestly, that's just really what it really is. I mean, she did mention this was one of her issues back in the day or whatever, but again, some people just don't take compliments well. I mean, it really doesn't matter. This is kind of babble, but again, you know what I'm saying? It's still something that you might be able to resonate with.
just a sign of how you view and talk to yourself. Another sign that you're more confident than you think is that you're not overly nice. There's a lot of recovering people pleasers and maybe current people pleasers on this channel. So I know this one will be a popular one. I've realized sometimes when you're a bit too overly nice, you're a bit too polite to people.
And be careful with these terminologies that you're throwing at yourself. I know these people on the internet are, doing certain things to hit trigger words to get the algorithm, but be careful with how you speak about yourself. Just because this person considers whatever you used to be as far as just trying to be polite to people, if they consider it people pleasing, you got to remember we're living in times where everybody's super negative. So they go and grab whatever buzzword that's going to trigger people the most, right? And then try to weave it into their ideology and babbling. So don't take it with a grain of salt. It's just about catching buzzwords and trying to trigger as much as possible. I think that that's a harsh term and a harsh way to speak about people that are just trying to be positive and don't want to ruffle feathers. I never was really like that, period. So I'm not even never used to be a people pleaser or anything of that nature, regardless of what somebody would project onto me. They don't even know me. But for those of you who people call that or call you that or used to call you that, don't listen to any of that. You got to remember, in the times we live in, everybody want to say you have some disorder on the spectrum, ADHD, or used to be a people pleaser, or they'll go complete opposite, call you a narcissist. It's always something. It's always something. And I normally take, note of people that feel like they need to project all these different terminologies and what they think sounds good. That's what it really is. It's what they think sound good. During these times and using trend. It's listen, keep it simple, right? If you used to, kind of let things go a little bit more just to keep things kosher and moving, and you don't do it anymore, kudos to you. If you still do it and you're strong enough to do that, kudos to you. But this people pleasing term, it's just a derogatory term they've come up with. Never let someone call you a people pleaser or say you used to be a people pleaser. It's a derogatory term.
A bit too overly available, a bit too willing to help. Sometimes I think that's a sign of low self-esteem. Like back in the day when
Well,
this
she
was
can
me,
think whatever she wants.
this I'm speaking from personal experience. I would be that person that would be like super willing and ready to like go out and help someone or help someone open the door. Like, oh, like you cough, you need a tissue. Oh, let me find it. Let me go in my bag. Let me find a tissue. Oh, you're stuck on that maths question that the teacher's moved on and they've left you behind. Like, oh, copy my answers. Like, here's what you need to do. Like, when you're someone that's a bit too nice and willing to drop everything that you have to help someone else, I think it's maybe because you don't see yourself as like fully worth a friendship, a connection, a relationship where you can just kick back and actually just be yourself. Like,
That could be the case, or because again, it's perspectives, and she's got hers. Mine would be, with this term people pleaser, you just might be a people's person. Your love language could be pleasing people. You just might be doing it to the wrong people that don't reciprocate. So you could be that way that she's talking and have someone that's reciprocating it, and it's fine. All this projected assumption of, hey, you need to not be this and that because of these are, what I'm saying? But listen, just know that the overall objective is being confident. You could be confident and still be out there doing those things, but with the right people that's going to reciprocate that energy. But let's keep it going.
I used to think deep down, I wasn't thinking it on the surface because I was only like 15 at the time. But like when I was 15,
Oh
deep down,
Lord.
underneath all my actions, underneath all the things where I was like going above and beyond for everyone else, I was like, no one's actually gonna like me if I'm not doing anything and if I'm
And
just
she's talking about 15. When you're an adolescent, man, it don't even matter. You don't know nothing about life, man. You're a kid. Okay, I thought she was talking about when she was grown. I didn't know. I mean, she looks kind of young, so she might not have that much life to go off of or whatever. But when you're an adolescent, I mean, dude, it's whatever.
kind of like, I'm not gonna go in my bag and find the tissue. I'm not gonna show you the maths answer. Like I have to give all these things to get back love and attention from people. If I don't give all my attention, all my effort, all my energy into other people, no one's gonna like me. It kind of felt like friendships were a transaction almost, and like I had to give to get. And maybe you're not 15, maybe you're watching this and you're literally like 25 or 35, and now it's actually like when it comes to friendships now, you feel like you always have to drive to your friends or you always have to like pay for things when you're with friends. If a friend forgets your birthday or they forget something that's really important to you or they cross a boundary that's really important to you, you just feel like you have to brush it off like, oh no, it doesn't matter that you forgot my birthday second year in a row, like it's okay, no big deal. Or
Oh, listen, man, look, it shouldn't be that big of a deal to you. Don't project onto your friends. Allow them to be who they, what I mean, get around people that vibe well with you, but don't project onto them and expect all this stuff out of them, man. You really shouldn't be expecting stuff out of people like that. I'm just gonna be real. Should have pre-listened to this video or watched this video before recording it.
you brought up that topic that I really didn't want you to mention in a group full of 10 people. Like, it's okay, I'll pretend like it didn't happen. Sometimes when we're doing all these things, it online or offline. I think online, people try to prove themselves sometimes in like what they post. They'll only show, especially on Instagram, they'll only show a certain part of their life to kind of give the image that they're a lot more of a globe trotter, travel-y person than they actually are. Or they'll give the impression that life is actually a lot more perfect and put together, and they're going out for meals and coffees and parties, and like they're doing a lot more than they actually are. When a lot of your energy is going to portraying a certain image, whether it be like you're literally a normal person just working a regular job, or you're a normal student going to university, when you're not working hard to portray an image to your colleagues or your teachers or your classmates, that is very confident. When you don't care that people think that like you're wearing the same outfit for the second day in a row, when you're not trying hard to portray anything, that is a huge sign of confidence, because working hard to portray an image and like your intent.
Hey, whenever they use like little corny, stupid examples like that, they're talking about somebody directly. Don't know who she's shading or whatever about that. It's not an example random. You got to think about human psychology, like whoever she's shading when she says that. Um, because I don't think she's talking about herself. She would have said herself. So she's talking about someone that she sees that she believes to be confident, but that's a shady thing to say. It's a shady thing to say. It don't make any sense either. So like, what are you doing when what do you mean? What do you mean the same thing 2 days in a row? The exact same outfit and clothes, or the exact same color shirt, or the exact same color blue jeans? What do you mean? Right? Because an outfit could be this lace front that she has on, those glasses, and those earrings. I mean, that's an outfit. That's not her hair. Those earrings don't belong on her face, and neither does those frames. That could be so, and that's she's gonna wear that wig every day. So again, man, I try not. I should have listened to this video, man, but I'm trying. But I really don't like listening to people's perspectives. I'm learning this in my life, man. Like I don't like listening to people's perspectives. I can hear the shade in what they're saying. I can hear their own insecurities and what they're projecting, and I just don't. I can't watch it anymore, man. It's hard for me to watch people. You know what I'm saying?
Intentionally positioning your bag in a certain way, or you're intentionally standing outside your car for a little bit longer so that people can see that this is your new car that you've just bought. Working hard to portray an image is just a sign of insecurity. It's totally okay to be proud of your achievements and be proud of the things that you've bought and achieved. Like that
Also, consistently critiquing people that are minding their business, regardless of whatever they're doing. Like critiquing groups of people, it's a sign of insecurity as well. I'm just going to be real. If you're constantly going after people, look, people shouldn't be materialistic. I'm not, but I don't care about those that are. I don't frame conversations to take jabs at them, right? I don't frame things as signs of confidence by not being that way. They can be confident obviously in some kind of way to get what they got. So this is babbling to me, but again, we're able to still caveat off of it and get some kind of good intellectual type of conversation and thought, from this.
is actually a really important thing. I'm a big advocate for being proud of yourself because I think one of the keys to being a confident person is like taking pride in like what you've done and who you are. Achievements and awards and cool things that you've bought, that's all cool and fun. You shouldn't then need to feel all of that pride for your achievements and then project that onto everyone else. That's when I think it becomes insecurity. Another sign you're
Well, I mean, again, she's allowed to feel whatever she wants. She's allowed to feel like outside of her house might be kind of lukewarm or really hot or cold. This is just her perspective. This is just my perspective. Don't ever let someone frame things, because when people bring up their accolades, because she brought up the fact that she's a doctor. So wouldn't that be her projecting her insecurities a little bit too? I mean, I'm just holding her to her own standard, right? We never asked her about being a doctor. That's not, she was using it to make a point, but she could have used somebody else the same way she used talking about someone that's wearing the same outfit 2 days in a row. She's not talking about herself. She didn't reference herself then. So she's cherry picking what she wants to talk about when she brings up herself. She's cherry picking on the way that she critiques. She's not even bringing herself into it. She has to bring herself in there too. If you're talking about people bringing up their accolades or their material possessions, you have to throw yourself in there too, because I had no idea she was a doctor until she mentioned it on her own video. Don't care either. You know what I'm saying? You being a doctor, what's it got to do with you being a YouTuber? It's nothing to do with it, man. Just like me being an engineer has nothing to do with me being a YouTuber. And yes, I just brought up being an engineer. Could that be me projecting my insecurity a little bit? I'm man enough to say probably, possibly, maybe. But avoiding it like this while also trying to make it seem like you're sincere and you're not projecting or, taking jabs at people that you don't too much care for, it's babbling nonsense. But let's go.
you're more confident than you think is the fact that you speak up in groups. This is a difficult one for introverts, but one that is a huge sign of confidence. Back in school, when I was like 13 to 16, I was literally one of the
Yeah, I guess this woman is, I don't know, I guess in her early 20s. I thought she said she's a doctor, but She keeps referencing teenage years. To me, when someone references their teenage years a lot when they're grown, it's like they feel like their best years were when they were kids before they had real responsibility. I mean, we all love the fact that when we were kids and our parents took care of us and we had medium level responsibility. But I'm trying to put this in a grown person's perspective. That's why I had to speak up here, because she just keeps making reference to her childhood. I Listen, your confidence is an energy that you project outwardly from within. I mean, it's you knowing who you are. It's very simple. You knowing who you are, what you represent, and how God works through you and how God's got you no matter what. And you're protected. All this stuff that she's doing, in some kind of way, I feel like she's kind of shading someone or some groups of people. I don't know. Whoever she's not feeling like she too much care for. And it seemed like it's getting a little bit off topic of why you should be confident. More so talking about people that she don't too much care for with fake confidence. So it really should be labeled 7 ways to identify fake confidence, because she's doing more of that than she is talking about how you're confident and what makes you confident. And that's something I like to bring up in these videos I watch, when people spend more time talking about some archetype and talking negative about the archetype instead of talking about how you are as an archetype and what you bring to the table. It's really a way of shading people, and we don't know who she's shading. So why even patronize her? You know what I'm saying? Give her money. It just giving people money to
smartest people.
shade
Like I
people
remember that was one of the
indirectly,
things that
passive
like it was all I
aggressively.
had. I felt super ugly at the time. I felt like no one liked me. I didn't have many friends, but like being one of the smartest people, like being consistently in the top 3, top 5 students of all my exams,
She's somewhat projecting her insecurities right now. She just talked about this, but let's go ahead and roll with it.
that was like one of the things that was keeping me going, despite going into a bunch of different lessons like math, science, English, and like knowing all the answers for things when the teacher would ask a question. Like I still
Are you not? Does she not know what she's doing right now? Is she giving an example of fake confidence? Or is this her example of confidence, talking to you about how smart she is? Who cares? Who cares? Look, man, all I'm saying is this: with all that brain power you have, if you're not operating on people's brains or replacing hearts or inventing something, why are you steady talking about grades you got? Who cares about your grades? How are you applying it in real life, in real time? This is what I'm talking about. These school people. These school people, man, it's the same thing as like a military person that goes in there and then never does anything else besides military, or someone in high school that plays sports and they're always Al Bundy making a reference to their high school football days. You got to get past that. It should be more about how you're applying what you learn to your life. And these people, they get on here, man.
still never spoke up. It made perfect sense. Like I had no confidence. My confidence was hanging on a shoestring. Like even when I knew the right answer, I'd still doubt myself. Like I feel like confidence is not really much to do with what you actually know. It's more to do with how you feel about yourself. Like I'd know all the right answers. I was one of the smartest people in the classroom. In some classrooms, I was the smartest person,
All
and
right,
the
we
teacher
got
was
to we
probably
got to
looking
move
at me.
on. I
I'm
can't
planning
listen
to
to
make
this
a whole
woman,
entire
man.
dedicated video on saying no, and I'm probably gonna call it like the people pleasing rule book, or like the code to overcoming people pleasing, or something like that. I haven't come up with a name yet, but like the power of saying no. Honestly, I feel like that is the key to confidence. The more you say no, the more you become a confident person. I'm convinced of it. Like you actually can't convince me otherwise. Like you think saying yes and agreeing to things will make you liked by people, or whatever sort of approval you want to get, whether it's being liked by people, having people think you're cool, having people think that like you're like so amazing. You think jumping through all the hoops that everyone sets out for you, like do this, do that, come. Another one, you're comfortable alone. I think there's a really clear difference between being comfortable alone and then like hiding alone. Like me in the past, I was an introvert. I was scared to be seen like sat by myself in the corner, sat by myself with no friends. I'd be scared to be seen alone. So I would refuse to go to any events, refuse to go to parties, refuse to go to anything. I would just hide at home on my own.
That's her perspective. That's what she did. Now, whether she's going to project that onto us, or she's assuming, or she's making the assumption, or she's framing it like that's what hiding is in general, what she perceived hiding was when she was doing it, That's not what hiding is. This is her perception, her perspective of whatever she was doing, but she's almost framing it like that's just what it is in general for everybody, and it's not. It's not. And she says she's a doctor. All these assumptions and projection is given, man, like just saying whatever, putting a video out.
Whereas now I'm like, I'm comfortable on my own. I can go to an event by myself. Like literally yesterday or the day before, I went to I've just started my actual job as a doctor. I went to this like welcome dinner event.
Something else too. It's a healing process to what's she's talking about as a doctor. I don't know why she don't understand that. Some people might not go out and they're introverted like that. Maybe on the level she's talking about hiding, but some people are introverted because they're going through some healing. They could have been extroverts before that or barely introverted or whatever, but they're going through some type of healing. And in that process, you will be introverted and not want to interact with people. Once you heal past that, though, then you're okay with interacting with. So it can be part of a process of healing that needs to be done. As a doctor, I'm surprised that she's framing it like there's only one option for this, and this is the only way it can be done, and it means either this or that. I'm man, I'm telling you, man.
By myself. Like I didn't know anyone that was going. I think me back in the day, I probably would have not gone because I wouldn't want to walk in on my own and do the small talk, speak to new people. But this event, I just showed up on my own. I walked in by myself, and like I find it just super easy to talk to people now. So that's why I wasn't stressed about it. Like I wasn't stressed about who I was going to sit with or how I'm going to say hi to people. What do I say? It all just happened naturally. So I'm more comfortable alone now versus before I was hiding alone. And I'm a very firm believer that you don't have to be like an extrovert and like love being around people, love being outside all the time to be a confident person. I'm not that sort of person that wants to be outside all the time. Like I really enjoy my alone.
All right. Well, hey, listen, I would love for her to go longer, but I mean, I'm not really agreeing with anything she's really saying. But their perspectives, and this is all that it's about, right? Just putting out perspectives, your soul tribe catching it or whatever. I'm gonna look for some more videos like this, but I will pre-watch them so I can caveat in the same direction of them and not against what they're saying, because I didn't watch this. I just seen the title. I thought she was gonna go a certain way, but when I hear people, I'm going to make more videos of these spiritual people or whoever I notice. I'm going to show you guys how they frame things. That's what I'm going to start doing. I'm going to start making videos showing you guys how these wicked people, not her in particular, they disguise uh, their they're disguising their hate for someone, or uh, their wicked projected thoughts about how somebody else is living through clever wordplay and titles that don't even really. So you got to like be able to see past it when they compare you or themselves to some other archetype, and they spend more time talking negative about that archetype than talking about what you do or you bring to the table. This is some wickedness. It's not a video, or it's not a inspiration that's being framed properly, man. It's not going to bring you any happiness talking about how you're better than someone else, or how someone else is messing up all the time. Who cares? Who cares? But anyway, man, you guys smash that like button. Go ahead, drop a comment if you agree or disagree. And we're going to keep dropping different videos like this, mixing it up on the channel. Okay. I'm your brother, and I love you, and I'm out.